Hello guys, this is Angela with Angela's Busy Bees Gardens and Homestead. I'm out here today with my garden girl Ava.
Hi.
And we are doing a video because Nikki, the everyday life of an OCDist chick, challenged us to show what we're doing here on our homestead, what we're doing to clean up, prepare for the spring, whatever we're doing outdoors. And so one of the things Ava and I have been working on is beautifying this raised bed area. And guys, we've already had lots of perennials growing, such as these daylilies, coral bells, tiger lilies. I also have some irises in here, but we've also been adding some annuals that I received from the clearance section at Lowe's, such as these petunias and marigolds and geraniums. And what we've done here is we have pulled up as many weeds as we possibly could, and we've planted all of our flowers. And of course, I have a grapevine here that was purchased about a year ago on clearance for $1, and I'm hoping it will just vine up this trellis. And then also I have my Seascape strawberries that I received from the Carolina gardener, and they're all doing really fine, except I think I lost one right here. And guys, one of the hardest things here on the homestead is that these little helicopters here, they just fall all over the place. But as you see here, I've lost one strawberry, but I have plenty that I'll be able to just pull that out and pop another one in. But just wanted to share with you one of the projects that we've been working on is just starting to clean out a lot of our flower beds, because I've been focusing on the vegetables and the vegetable transplants and selling at the farmers market. So now that I have a little breather, I can now begin working on the gardens, and this is garden number 1 that I've worked on. Here guys, you see I have one of those hardy ferns. I really love them because they're perennial and they come back and they get really nice and big. And I'm just hoping that with the petunias and the geraniums that I've added in that pot, that it'll just fill out and look really beautiful. But there are several other things I want to show you that I'm working on. One is cleaning out the greenhouse, transferring a lot of my seedlings into the greenhouse, and then also cleaning up the butterfly garden area and sharing that with you as well. So let's get started. Hello and welcome to Angela's Busy Bees Garden and Homestead. Guys, today I'm coming into the butterfly garden area and also where my greenhouse is located. And I have lots of stuff to do. As you can see, I've got this hose here on the ground and they're all tangled. I think it's like 2 75 feet long hoses that are connected. And you know, if you don't get the never kink or whatever it's called, they really get tangled and kinky. So I'm gonna let Ava help me to pull this out so that we can get it, unraveled. That way we can use it when we need to. We've been having lots of rain here lately in Tennessee, growing zone 7A. So I have not had to water for at least a week. But when I do need to water, I want it to be ready and available to be pulled to wherever I need it to be. But just wanted to give you a picture of my butterfly garden thus far. And I'm not afraid to show you that I have several areas here on the homestead that I've been hiding that needs to be cleaned up. But I'm really excited about spring and doing a lot of spring cleaning here on the homestead. So before I go into the greenhouse, let me just pan through and let you see the flowers that I have growing in my butterfly garden. And this is not a conclusive list. I keep adding throughout the growing season. There's a hanging basket there on the wall that I have not planted anything in it as of yet. We've just gotten to where the weather is pretty much becoming pretty constant with temperatures during the day and during the night. And as you see here, I have these mirrors on the wall. This is something that I adopted from Organic's Best Urban Gardener. When I first started watching YouTube videos, he was one of the first gardeners that I used to watch, and at that time he had a lot of mirrors on his wall in his garden area, and I thought that was really beautiful, and tried to do a little bit of the same here. But I have blueberries, irises. The blueberries, as you see them here, they're putting on fruit. I have a rose bush here that's budding and is about to bloom any day. I have petunias in hanging baskets. I tried to create a water source or a water feature, and basically what I did is I used a pot liner that you would put under a large pot to collect the water. Well, I just set that on top of a pedestal, added some pebbles, and purchased a statue and placed it here. And I try to keep it watered. We had some marbles in it. I don't know what happened to the marbles. I probably need to check with Ava. In this pot, I have a lantana, and I have a Nanking cherry, and I'll be adding some more things to this pot as well. Here's a bunch of different things. I've got geraniums, I've got daylilies, and also a couple of tiger lilies in here. I forget the name of this plant here. I think it's called moss rose, or I can't think of it right now. It'll come to me. But lots of things growing here in this area. And as I've stated, I'm always adding to the garden area. Over here I have some dianthus that are coming back, and the squirrels or the birds keep adding this nut tree. I don't know what kind of nut it is, but they are in a lot of my pots. Here's another rose that I'm going to be treating with some rose, what is it called? There's something that I purchased. It's systemic 3-in-1. It's a concentrated mixture that I typically add to water, and it handles disease. It also feeds your roses, and it does one other thing. But I'm also probably going to just place some garlic all around the bottom of this rose bush as well, just to try to keep whatever is biting it. It looks like some leaf miners also attacking it, and what have you. There's my garden girl, Ava.
Hi.
And she's going to help me with this hose. Ava, if you would disconnect it where it's joined together, and then from that way you'll be able to stretch it out, and then we can get the other one as well. And this is a gazing ball. I have every time I come out here and try to do a little cleaning up around this area, I will crack the ball, and this has happened to me now twice in 2 years, and so I've had to purchase another one. I'm not as fond of this one as I was the one before that I cracked, but it lights up at night. I have another lantana here, and this is my greenhouse. So what I want to do inside here, guys, is do a lot of cleaning up. As you see, I have been trying to add a lot of my transplants in here. These are 3 of the fall, it's called Fall Gold Raspberries. They were a gift to me from the Carolina Gardener, and so when I received them, I went on and potted them up, and as you can see, they're doing well and ready to go now into the garden or wherever they're going to be placed. Here's some stuff under here that's probably going to be thrown away. Over here I have some of my tomatoes, and they're looking a little yellow, so I'm going to feed it with a little bit of my fish fertilizer. Over here, these are my sweet potato slips. Guys, look how they've grown since I've planted them in soil. And I know I have another tray somewhere. Here it is. Here's another tray of potato slips. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, and one more here makes 17. I have some peppers down here, and they are all sorts of peppers, whether it's bell pepper or habanero, jalapeno, serrano chili. They're all mixed together, but they're labeled on the pot. So what I'm going to do here, I have a lot of things that I'm going to be throwing away because you collect so much stuff, and if you're not going to use it, you might as well throw it away. As you can see here. Here I had some plants. I think these were the English ivy. And of course I didn't get in here to water, and it dried out and died. So this is going to be thrown away. And this is going to be thrown away as well. And this is a pot. Whatever was in it, it's completely dried. Ava, can you go to the side of the house and get me the black trash can where I can just throw these things directly in the trash? And I'm not sure what was here, but these were my pomegranates that I started from seed. And it looks like this one looks like it's pretty much gone, but I'm going to give it some water and see if at least these 4 here, this one, this one, this one, and this one, see if they will continue to thrive. But you see how dry it is, so I'll just set these here. But it was pretty easy to start from seed. I'm going to hold on to this tag because I could use it for something else. This is the shelf here that is going to be a little difficult. I've got some of everything. This no longer works, so I'm going to definitely throw that away. I have this in the wrong place because that part of the chicken supplies. I'll probably just keep this pot. And definitely a lot of this soil can be reused. So I'm going to try to reuse that. But that's what I'm basically doing today, guys. And not going to keep you much longer on this video. There's one other project that I've been working on that I want to share with you. It's one of my flower beds where I had planted some knockout roses, and they were there for about at least 10 years. But last year looked like they pretty much all died, and I tried to dig them up. I wasn't successful with some of them, but what I'm doing is transforming that garden area to some annuals and some other perennials as opposed to roses. So let me get going and take you out there so that you can see what I've done so far. Okay guys, so this is another one of my flower beds that's in the front of my yard. And I had roses, about 5 roses around this bed for several years, and they pretty much died, so I tried to dig them up. There were 3 that I could not dig up, but I was able to cut the branches down as far as I could. But I have 1 rose that remained, and they were the pink knockout roses. And I always kept them about a foot below this fountain here so that it would not, overshadow or take over the space. So I kept them trimmed back very low. But because a lot of the roses died, I decided to just plant some annuals in this flower bed, but I'm also going to keep that 1 pink knockout rose over there. I went to Lowe's and found some clearance plants. I found some of these pink dianthus plants that you see here, and they are perennial, so they'll come back. But I also found some lantanas on clearance, and here are the lantanas. And I was watching Healthy Living with Wendy, and she was planting some gladioluses. And so she reminded me that they are a great plant as well to add to your garden. And so I went to Dollar Tree and picked up these pink gladioluses, and I think I picked up the mixed colored pack that I'm going to place in another part of the garden. But you get 4 bulbs for $1.25, which I thought was a great deal. And here in growing zone 7A, these are, well, for me, they have been perennials because I still have a couple of them that come back each year. But here it's saying that the hardiness zone, and I don't know if it's going to focus, there it is. The hardiness zone is zones 8 through 10. So I'm not sure if this is a different variety or not, but I'm going to take a chance on it. And even if it's an annual, I think that is still beautiful, and for $1.25 you can't go wrong. So the first thing I had to do was to clean out this bed, and it was so much grass and weeds, and I have had to make a pile here, there's a pile there, and another pile there. And those old rose bushes, I tried to cut it back with my loopers, but some of the stems were so thick that it didn't even budge. So I'm going to have to find another way to, dig them out or get some help to get these out of the bed. But what I want to do now, guys, since I've pulled all the weeds and as much grass as possible, is to go on and plant these gladioluses. And they say to plant them about 8 inches deep, and you can put 4 per square foot. So what I've done is I've dug 4 holes, and I'm going to place 4 of these bulbs in each of the holes. Okay, so here I have the 4 bulbs in the hole, and I'm just going to cover it really well. And I'm going to do that for the other 3, and I'll come back. Okay, I have my bulbs all planted, and now what I'm going to do is to use my wood chips and just mulch all around it. And I'm going to go on and get that done, and I'll come back with you. And here it is, all completed. And as you can see, I filled that trash can with grass and weeds from this garden area. Hopefully those glads will come up soon. And the only thing left to do now, guys, is to water. I'll let them, the perennials or the annuals that I've planted, I'll let them get situated. And in about 2 weeks, I'll come back and give it a little miracle grow. And hopefully that'll get it going as well. And I'm cleaning out this bird bath. And then I'm going to fill it up with water. And as you can see, the bird bath is full of water for the birds. I try to keep some type of water source available for them, because if not, they're known to peck at your ripened tomatoes. So hopefully this will help prevent them from doing that. And now what I'm going to do is go on and water flower bed number 1 and call it a day. And for this video purpose, I'm calling this garden bed number 2. Completed. Guys, do you see all the helicopters that have fallen? I'm going to have to get all of that out of this garden bed. If not, I'll have little trees growing all in my garden areas. But I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Special thanks also to Nikki, the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick, for including me in this collaboration. Guys, if you've enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future videos. God bless. Bye-bye.